Hey everyone, and welcome to Sasquatch Theory. In today's episode, I have several interviews for you guys, and I think you're really going to enjoy them. We hear a lot of reports nowadays of people seeing the Sasquatch up close. But in reality, a majority of the reports are people seeing something that cannot be identified, and today's episode is about those encounters. Lisa, welcome to Sasquatch Theory. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. Like you said, my name is Lisa, and I grew up here in Somerset, Massachusetts, and I love taking my vacations up in North Conway, New Hampshire. And I had been going there for, pretty much all my life there. This one particular incident happened to me in 2017 that left me with questions, and it's been on my mind ever since. It bothers me every day. Like I said, I go to North Conway. There's a house up there on Chapel Road that I've rented for the past 10 years going up there. And what I like to do is I go up the end of July, early August every year. And my favorite thing to do is kayaking. So I would go to the Saco River, and I'm an oddball because everyone's going down the Saco River in their tubes and their kayaks, enjoying it. I like to go the opposite. So I go up the river, and I would find this fishing hole off to the right-hand side about, 4 miles up the river. And I'd fish there every year. I'd fish there, and everything was fine. Well, back in 2017, I did the same routine. Get my kayak packed up with some sodas, grinders, fishing pole, head up to the same spot. This one time I was there, it just, something was off. I was noticing these fish, dead fish in this area I was in, which I've never seen before. So I'm like, okay, maybe there's something going on with the water because all these fish are popping up. And I stayed there for about an hour, and I just wasn't feeling right. So I decided me and my fiance at the time, I said, let's go back to the cabin. We caught a couple of fish. Let's go cook them on the grill. As I was just leaving this little watering hole, I heard this loud scream. It was like a scream. I don't know what it was. I figured we're out in the woods. It could have been anything. Immediately following a scream, a tree fell. A tree fell, and I heard it. And I've never heard a tree fall in my life, but I heard this. I started kayaking a little faster because I got chills from it. As I'm paddling back to where we launch our kayaks from, a few deer come running out of the woods right in front of me. I was like, oh, wow, look at that. It's pretty. I've never seen deers do that before. So we get our kayaks back in the truck. We go back to Chapel Road into this house that I'm renting. We cooked dinner outside on the deck, cooked the fish. It was delicious. Just hung out for the night, watched some TV. Now, in this house, the bedrooms are downstairs. So if you were to look out my bedroom window where I was staying, it's ground level. Right above that is about 20 steps going up to the top deck. And at that top deck, at that time, I'm ashamed to say this, but you weren't supposed to bring your dogs. I brought my little dachshund with me because I couldn't leave him anywhere. So I had put a cooler in front of the stairway going down so my little dog named Stubby wouldn't run down the stairs while I'm in and out cooking. And I filled it with towels and blankets, so it was heavy enough for this little dachshund. She couldn't move it and get down the stairs without me noticing her. So everything was fine, cooked, cleaned up, went downstairs for the evening, started watching TV downstairs. My fiance was right there. He had fallen asleep before me. I was watching some kind of show. So it was around 12 o'clock at night. I shut the television off. I no sooner put my head down on that pillow. My heart's beating fast because I'm telling you this. No sooner I put my head down on the pillow, I heard it sounded like a football player going up the stairs. And I listened, and whatever it was, took the cooler and slid it across the deck. You heard it slide right across the deck. As soon as whatever did that, they got up to there was sliding glass doors at the top of the deck. You heard it try to open the door. I heard something trying to open the door. I woke up my fiance. I said, Kevin, someone's trying to break in. Hear it? So he gets up, took him a second or two to fully wake up, and he heard what I heard. So he immediately gets out of bed, and he carries a gun with him. He always did. He gets up. We go outside. I didn't want to go outside. He went outside. I'm at the top of the deck. I'm looking around. I don't see anything. There's nothing there. So we go back to bed. The minute we put our head back on that pillow, boom, 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 up the stairs again, at the door, shaking the sliding glass door. Now we're up. We're already up. So we're out of bed within seconds, running up the steps, going outside. Nothing. I'm on the top of the deck. I'm shaking now because I'm thinking, okay, let's look on the ground. Maybe it's a bear. What else could it be? But the sound, the footsteps going up those steps were two like a football player, heavy. And for them, whatever it was, to grab that sliding glass door and try to open it. Anyway, I'm getting off track. Anyway, the second time we heard that again, he gets outside within seconds. He's looking around. He's got a flashlight. He's got the gun. Now I'm on top of the deck. I'm like, Kevin, look up on the roof, because the roof is low. Those roofs are low up in New Hampshire. You're standing on the deck and you can touch the roof, and they point them down on an angle because of the snowstorms that they get up there. So the snow just slides off. So anyone could have jumped up on the roof. So I'm telling him, like, Kevin, look up on the roof. Maybe whoever it was is up on the roof, because it's an easy jump up. He's looking. We don't see anything. But all of a sudden, now when you're in the mountains in New Hampshire, there's no street lights. It's pitch black. And the week we had gone up there, the 4 days, we went up Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Friday night, we were the first ones up staying in that mountain. So the other houses were empty. And I always look because I want to make sure who's around my area, my surrounding areas. There was nobody. Once we got up that second time and looked for whatever that was that made that noise, it's a dirt road. Across the dirt road was an empty house. There's nobody there. We both heard this. The only way I can describe it is like a snorting pig. Like it was like a screaming, snorting pig. With that, I yelled. I'm like, Kevin, get in the house. Just get in the house. I don't know what that is. So we came back in the house, and after that, it got quiet. But for the next Friday night, Saturday night, I slept with Kevin slept with his gun on his chest, and I slept with whatever big knives I could find in that house at the time. And I couldn't wait to get out of there. And I didn't go back 18, 19, 20, 21. I didn't go back for 4 years. And like I said before this, I was up there 10 years in a row. That was my safe haven. That was my go-to spot. So it just, back then, I didn't even know what a Bigfoot was until I started watching. My son said, Ma, because I told my son, because nobody, what do you do? Who do you tell? Well, I didn't know what it was. So my son said, Ma, I want you to watch some of these videos. So I've been watching these Bigfoot videos for almost a year now. And I'm like, was that what it was? What else could it have been? I don't know what else, because the events leading up to that night just made sense to me. I don't know if it makes sense to somebody else, but it kind of made sense to me. And that's what happened to me in North Conway. And to this day, I'm still wondering what it was. It bothers me. I don't want to go back up there. I get nervous. I went up once, and I went up in the wintertime. I didn't want to go back up in the summertime. I went this past winter with my grandkids to go skiing, and my son and his wife. But as far as the summers go, I don't think I'll be heading up there anytime soon. But that's my story, and that's what happened to me. So I'm hoping maybe you have some answers for me.
Yeah, I might. And I appreciate you sharing your story with me.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. How far away was the river from the house? that you guys were staying
Oh,
at?
maybe, well, geez, if I pull out of the driveway, 2 miles, it's very close. Like, I'd say 2.5 miles tops. Too far to drag your kayaks from the house to the Saco River, but a minute's drive in the car.
Yeah, so that's pretty close. It
It's
could be
very
possible
close.
that they were watching you guys fish and maybe they followed you guys back to the house to try and take some of your guys' fish.
That's what I was wondering too, because we did cook that fish that same night. It was salmon and it was delicious. Um, but a bear would not take a cooler, right? And slide it 10 feet across a deck, would it?
No, I don't think so. And you heard a scream and a tree fall whenever you were kayaking.
Yes. Yes. And that's when I'm like, we got to go. I felt uneasy. It wasn't that nice summer vacation that I always took up there. Something was off that weekend.
Yeah.
And who would have thought? I never thought. And I made fun of my son, like, PJ, there's no Bigfoot in New Hampshire. That's too close to home. He's like, Ma, watch these videos. And that's when I started watching. I'm like, I'll be damned. They've been seen in Maine. And also at that motel in New Hampshire, the White Mountain Motel.
Yeah. So you
From what I've seen.
you found sighting encounters near this area?
Yeah, I watched them on television. Yeah. And that's what made me say, you know what? This has been bothering me. I have to figure this out. If it is, then that's what it was. But if it's not, then it still bothers me because I don't know what it was that night. Like going up those stairs, whatever went up those stairs sounded, it was 2 feet, 2 heavy feet. And I looked for prints. When you go to New Hampshire, where we stayed, it's all pine needles and dirt. So there was really, I couldn't find any footprints. I couldn't find anything. But that squeal, I don't know, it was a piggish sounding squeal across from us while we were outside with a flashlight right across the dirt road from us. And that scared the heck out of me.
Yeah, that is creepy. Was it like a grunt or a buck grunt or like a squeal?
Scream squeal. It was almost like a pig. That's the only thing I can relate it to. I've tried to listen to bears on TV because my son wants me to look into this. And from what I've heard on television and on the internet, what I heard was not a bear.
Yeah.
So,
And
I don't know.
it sounded like it was coming up the stairs towards you guys.
Oh, it went up the stairs and it went right to the sliding glass door and it tried to open the door. God only knows what would have happened if it got into that door. I don't know.
Okay. So the stairs are outside.
The stairs are outside. I've taken pictures of this house because I loved it so much. I put pictures on my walls of this house. When you go up the stairs to the deck, underneath the deck, directly underneath the deck is my bedroom with 2 little windows. I've tried looking out those windows, but it's like I said, it's pitch black. There's no lights. There's no street lights on Chapel Road. It's black. You're almost up. Matter of fact, it's called Cathedral Ledge. I don't know if you've ever heard of it in New Hampshire.
No, I haven't.
Yeah, it's called Cathedral Ledge. You're up in that mountain.
Yeah.
And when I got back, I had to return the key to the owners because we're good friends. Like I said, I've been going up there for years. I had asked them, have you ever had anything happen to you like that? And they said, no, we've never experienced anything like that. And also, they used to keep books in this house that you could journal about your trip. I had written down what I experienced. So the next person that came into the home, if they read the journal, maybe somebody else heard something, they could write it in there. A few years back, I had called the owners and again, I said, do you mind if I get those journals from you? Because I like to, look at it again, to see how I wrote it down and everything. And she said, Lisa, we had people that went up there that rented the house again. And for some reason, they threw away our journals, which I said, wow, that's not fair. That's not even their property. That was your property. So they didn't know why they threw away those journals. But whatever it was, it happened, and it left me scared. Like I could hear my heart pounding through my ears. You know, when your heart's pounding that much, you hear it and feel it in your ears, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know.
That's what happened. And
Uh,
I don't know. I don't know what to make of it.
no, I understand. And is there possibly a cemetery nearby this house?
Cemetery? No. A lot of walking trails, but I haven't seen any cemeteries. There's a lot of waterfalls. Diana's Bath is right down the road, about maybe 4 or 5 miles. There's a lot of walking trails, a lot of waterfalls.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you have a Bigfoot research area near you. Sounds like a good spot to rent out and do Bigfoot research, I guess.
Is there a person or people that do that around this area? Because I would love to talk to them or go with them one night just to see, just for my own peace of mind. Because like I said, this is 2017, and I've been reliving this and just thinking, what could it have been? What else could it have been? Bears don't have hands to open up a sliding glass door. And if it was a bear, wouldn't it have tried to open up that cooler to maybe thinking there was food in it? But there was no food in it. It was just filled with blankets and towels from my kayaks.
Yeah. Well, I'm sure there's a Bigfoot research organization for your area, and I think you'd probably be surprised to know that there might be a Bigfoot group for that particular area that you had your experiences in.
Oh, that would be great.
Yeah,
if you have any contacts to them, I would reach out to them also. Like it's just ruined my vacation spot that I've gone to for all my life. It just put that damper in there, and I'm just so nervous to go back during the summertime now.
Yeah, I understand. And do you have plans to go back to the area in the future?
I would love to, but not until I know, was this a one-time thing? Was it a bear? I don't know. I just want some answers so I can go back and feel comfortable and not have to sleep with you should have seen the nights I slept with by my, I couldn't wait to get out of there on Sunday. I couldn't wait.
Yeah. If you do go back, maybe set up a trail camera outside and maybe have a little audio recorder going during the night.
I could do that. I mean, you see bears up there. I've seen bears up there, and they run from you. They're more afraid of you than you are of them. And the little cubs, I've seen them up there. But to have something push that cooler, hear that tree fall, which was, I've never heard that before, and have those deers running out. They're beautiful, but it's just too coincidental for me. After watching these videos now, I'm like, darn it, maybe that's what it was. And I got lucky. Maybe I got lucky because I didn't get injured, or, it went away after doing it twice to us. And whatever it was quick and could get down those stairs or jump that deck faster than me getting out of that bed at the, underneath those stairs and up. There's like 4 or 5 steps you got to get up to get outside. But whatever it was quick. It wasn't a person. We would have heard that. We listened to see if we heard any steps running away from the house, but you didn't hear a thing but that scream, and that scared me.
Yeah. Well, you know what I think it is? I think it's Bigfoot activity, just because of what you told me about what happened down at the river and then back at the house. And it could be something else, paranormal, or maybe some other type of cryptid, or something else going on. But I do believe it's Sasquatch because of the scream you heard down at the river, the tree getting pushed down.
Yeah.
You guys caught those fish, and it sounded like a football player coming up the stairs. And
exactly, a football player.
Yeah, it seemed like it wanted that cooler, and that sounds like Sasquatch activity.
Wow. Well, I guess I got lucky then, because you don't know if we had caught it, or I don't know. I don't know what I would have done. If I had seen it, physically seen it with my own eyes, I don't know what I would have done. I probably would have passed out.
Yeah, it's hard to say if that's a typical thing in that area or if the Sasquatch were just moving through, or like we talked about earlier, they followed you guys.
Well, that's the thing too. That's scary. If they pick up scent, is that what they do? Um, because leaving that little area from fishing and kayaking back down the Saco River, getting back into our truck, packing up the kayak and going right back down the road. I mean, that's a scent that they can pick that up.
Yeah, and also like the 2 miles that you guys are driving back, that's because you guys are on a road. But a lot of times, if you look at a map and just beeline it through the woods, it's typically a lot closer.
Actually, now that you say that, yes, our road, Chapel Road, and you go down Chapel Road, you take a left and it brings you to a main road. And I'm bad with names, but that main road, you can cross it and you're right. If you went straight across, you'd end up where our fishing hole was. Even though it felt like it took us 45 minutes to get there going up the river. But yeah, you're right. There is a direct line that if you walked it, you could get to that same spot.
Yeah, and it's
Ugh.
nothing for them to make a distance like that. I mean, for us, it'd take quite a while, but for any animal or even the Sasquatch, they can make a distance like that pretty quick.
But another thing is very smart, because when I was downstairs in the, getting ready for bed, like I said, I was watching television. As soon as I turned that TV off, as soon as that TV went black, that's when the steps, boom, 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 came. So they have to be smart enough to know that we were still up in that house and waited for that television to get shut off, because that was the only light on in that cabin at the time.
Yeah, very good observation. And
Right?
I've heard that a lot. They'll wait for the lights to go out or for people to start snoring before they come out, that whole sort of thing.
Right. And then that second time, we did it again, shut the lights off. No sooner we put our heads on that pillow, thinking, okay, whatever it was gone, it came back quick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it had to have been. I think it's Bigfoot, and you'll just have to maybe go back to that area and see if anything happens, but most likely nothing will happen, but you never know.
You never know. I mean, you could kayak back there in that little watering hole, tie up, and then do some, walking through the woods over there. I'm guessing, to look for footprints. I guess I think it's possible. Huh.
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you have any numbers or contacts that I could call someone in that area that does Bigfoot research in the New Hampshire area?
I don't personally know anyone, but if we post this video, I feel like someone in the comments will know for sure.
That would be great. Now, how would I see the comments? Would you contact me back, or how would I see them?
Just on the video, underneath the video, you'll see like people's messages and comments regarding
Okay.
the video. But yeah, if I
Okay.
see anything, somebody that reaches out, I'll definitely let you know.
Yes. That would be great. That would be great. That way I can I'll never forget it, but I'll be a little more eased to know that I can go back, and have the tools, I guess, to know what to do.
Yeah, absolutely. That
Right?
makes a whole lot of sense.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
But
Well, I appreciate you getting in contact with me and sharing your experience with all of us. And
oh,
if you
I
have,
appreciate you too. Thank you so much for calling me back. Because down here, there's no one to talk to, in Somerset. No one believes in Bigfoot or anything like that. You tell them your story and they just, yeah, okay, Lisa. I'm like, no, this is what happened.
okay.
But
Yeah, no, I understand. And I'll put the names of the locations that you mentioned in the title of the video, so that way people from your area find the specific video a lot easier.
yes, would you like the address to the home that I stayed in? I'll give you the address and everything.
No, I think the name of the river and just New Hampshire alone will be enough to
Okay.
draw in people from that area. But I appreciate your
Yes.
willingness to share that
Oh,
information.
anything. Just keep in mind it was Cathedral Ledge area, and people. That's a big spot that people know, Cathedral Ledge.
Okay. Well, that sounds good, Lisa. And like I said, I appreciate everything you've done.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I'm so thankful that you reached out to me. Thank you.
No, thank you. And yeah, if you have any questions, just message me on Facebook, and I'll be glad to answer any of your questions.
I definitely will. I definitely will. And same here, okay?
All right, sounds good. You have a good day, Lisa, and it was a pleasure speaking to you.
Thank you. You too, sir. Thank you. Bye bye.
All right, that was a really interesting report, and I really appreciate Lisa for getting in contact with me and sharing her experiences. I do feel like the Sasquatch were in the area when they were at the river. I mean, everything she described sounds like Sasquatch activity, and they possibly did follow her back to her cabin and try to mess with her. It's hard to say, but yeah, it does sound like Bigfoot activity. So thank you so much for sharing your encounter. All right, moving on to the next report. We have another Lisa, and she is with her daughter, and she wants to tell us about something they seen one night when they were driving near a lake in a forested area. All right, let's get into it, guys.
And we don't have a big, long, drawn out story like most people, but we did have something happen last summer. We don't tell a lot of people about it for obvious reasons, because they just think you're crazy.
Yeah.
We live out here at Lake Hanna. Do you know where that's at?
No, but it sounds familiar.
Well, if you're leaving Ironton and you say you're going to go to Farmington and come out 221, it's about 5 miles east of Ironton. It's a lake development here.
Okay, so kind of heading towards silver mines.
No. Are you familiar with Ironton?
I know where Ironton is. I just don't know all the areas around it. I got Google pulled up right now so I can look it up. What's the name of the lake?
It's Lake Hanna.
Okay.
So we are surrounded, by these little mountains here at Lake Hanna. And one night, it was probably about last June, I guess. It was just starting to get warm at night. And Caitlin said, let's take a drive around the lake. And on the west side of the lake, there's what we call flats. It's sand. Everybody rides four-wheelers in this wooded area. And we got back there. And all of us, we had our windows down. And all of a sudden, this awful smell. She was driving. I was in the passenger seat. And I had my head turned looking out in the flats with my hand kind of over my nose, complaining about the awful smell. I said, something has to be dead. I mean, this is just awful. And about that time, she slammed on the brakes. And I looked at her and I said, what the hell are you doing? She says, oh my God, did you just see that? And I said, no, what are you talking about? And she says, something just walked across the road. It was big and hairy, standing upright. She says, all I could see was its legs because it was dark. There was no full moon, and it's pitch black out here at night. So all she had was her headlights, shining in front of her. All she seen was the legs. But she says it walked upright like a person, and it was brown and hairy. And I said, well, maybe it was a bear. And she says, no, it was no bear. A bear wouldn't take steps that big. So I said, well, come on, let's go. So she rolled up the windows and all freaked out, eyes as big as oranges. She sped through there, and I said, well, let's go back and see if we could see anything. Well, she wouldn't do it. So we come back to the cabin, and her brother talked her into going back. And so they got out, and they looked for footsteps and, footprints and looked around. but they could see where there was a path that was beat down that looked like something big was going through there, you know, on a regular basis. So she's here. She can talk to you. She just come in, but she's the one who's seen it. But the funny thing is when we went back later and they looked for the footprints, and I even went back after that and drove around, the smell was gone. There was no smell. And the smell was so bad. It smelled like rotting, decaying flesh. It was nasty smelling. And when we went back, the smell was completely gone. So
Okay. Well, I
I'm
appreciate you
just
sharing that.
assuming it was associated with whatever it was that crossed the road.
Mm-hmm.
Because if it was something there dead, it would have still smelled.
Yeah. Yeah. It could have been the Sasquatch itself that stunk that bad, or maybe it had a kill nearby and picked it up and took it with it whenever it left.
I don't know. And we're kind of diagonal from this mountain over here in Pilot Knob. They call it the Devil's Icebox. There's a cave up there. Are you familiar with that?
No, I haven't heard of that. I know of Tom Sock. Is that fairly close?
No, that's a ways away.
Okay.
A little ways away. Well, if you look up Devil's Icebox, you can read all about it. But there's a cave up here on top of this mountain. And they have it fenced off now. They won't let anybody in there. But we hear the craziest sounds at night coming from that direction. The yelling, the roaring, it's sounds that I've never heard before. I've heard mountain lions. I've heard how they scream. It sounds like a woman. It's not that. I've heard fox. I know the different crazy sounds they can make. This is deep. It's loud. I mean, it just makes your hair stand on end when you hear this crazy sound
And is this
from
recent?
over there. Well, we heard it last summer. It's still kind of cool at night. We haven't been spending a lot of time outside yet because, it's still getting down in the 40s out here at night.
Mm-hmm.
But when it's warm and quiet, you can hear all the sounds. Yeah, we've heard it multiple times, not just once. And we'll just stop dead in our tracks. I mean, like, oh my God, did you just hear that kind of thing? And I don't know if you're only interested in Sasquatch type things, but she had another experience over here in Doe Run with something in the middle of the night, and she can tell you about that.
So yeah, I asked Mom if she wanted to take a ride around the lake because we do that sometimes in the summer just for something to do. And it was back with, and we smelled that awful smell, and Mom was complaining about it, and I was just driving, paying attention to the road, and I don't know what it was. I just seen legs because that's how my headlights were pointing. It was just big legs, just like walk across the road, and it was like a dark brown, like hairy. I mean, I just seen legs, so I can't honestly tell you it was a Bigfoot, but I don't know what else it could have been. Just walk across the road.
Yeah, it sounds like Sasquatch.
And then the one in Doe Run, I was at my boyfriend's house. He lived in Doe Run out. I guess it's a Park Hills address, but it's in Doe Run. Yeah, I'm not sure of the mountain, but we were just out rabbit hunting. We were driving on the side by side, and we went in this back field because they have a whole bunch of fields. And the headlights like shine like in the woods, and I have no idea what it was, but it freaked me out. It was like white and it had like no hair on it. and it like I swear I like saw it stand up, and I just told him, I was like, let's go back. I didn't tell them I seen it because I knew they wouldn't believe me what I saw, and I'm not honest. I don't even know what it was, but it was like tall, skinny, and it had no hair on it, and it just freaked me out.
Yeah, that is creepy. It sounds like it could have been a rake or some type of unknown being, perhaps.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but it was scary, and like I never went back outside at night without somebody. Like I never went in the woods at night again because I don't know what it was, but not something I want to see again.
Yeah, I understand. I don't know if you guys would ever be interested in taking me to the area or maybe doing some research, but I'd be glad to drive down and check out the spot if you guys ever want to talk about it or maybe hang an
Yeah, we could
audio
do that.
recorder. Okay. Have you guys experienced anything else on the property that can't be explained as far as like paranormal activity, UFOs, anything strange that you guys have noted within that area that you guys have had experiences in?
I don't think so. I think it was just the one out here and the one in Duran was the main thing. We do hear some crazy sounds out here, and like I was out on the side by side one night back at the flats, and there was just crazy sound. I don't know. You just always hear weird sounds coming from the mountains out here.
Yeah.
But I don't like it, so I don't stay out a whole bunch like at night because it scares me. Like mom stays out, so she can tell you about the sounds. But I've heard them a couple times, and I don't like it.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I've heard them before down in the Mark Twain. And do you hear like higher pitch sounds mixed with like lower tones and just, I don't know, like human animal like sounds?
Yeah, it's a weird. It's definitely animal. I don't know what kind of animal. It's just I don't know. I don't even know how to explain it. Maybe kind of like a screech, maybe.
Mm.
I don't know how you would describe it.
Okay. No, that's fair enough. And when you saw the creature, was it leaving the lake or was it going to the lake?
It was leaving. It was going back towards the woods.
Okay. So do you guys think maybe you spooked it and it got out of there, perhaps?
Maybe because we were just driving by.
Yeah. And you only caught the legs, but how big, like how massive were the legs?
I'm not really. I don't know like size wise, but they were definitely big. I would say definitely bigger than like a bear's leg. Like width wise, I don't even like a big log maybe. Like they were huge legs. Like I don't even know. Like I don't know. They were just bigger than like what a bear would be. That's why I didn't think it was a bear.
Yeah.
And it was like I didn't really see like I wasn't paying attention to like feet, but like I just saw like the legs, but like I didn't see like claws or anything like how a bear would be. And the
Yeah.
way it like walked. So I don't.
Yeah. No, that makes sense. And what do you think the creature was doing in that area? Do you think it was hunting or fishing?
What was that? I didn't hear you.
What do you think the creature was doing in the area?
I'm not really sure. I mean, it was right by a lake. Because we live on the big lake, and that's where it kind of was. But it wasn't like, what would you say that was? Like a culvert maybe or something. The water comes in, not like a deep water, but there was definitely water like right there, like a couple feet from like, yeah, like feet away from where the woods is.
Okay.
So it could easily just, if it was any type of animal, could just easily walk over there and back to the woods, and you could never see them because it's right there.
Yeah. And around the lake, there's a lot of woods, isn't there?
Oh yeah. So out at Del Run, what I told you about,
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is connected, but my boyfriend's cousin, their dog went missing, and it was missing for a couple days. it was like this, yeah, because it was actually their property, but they live right next to each other. So I just said it was like my boyfriend's. But the dog went missing for a couple of days, and it came back, and it was like its skin was like hanging, like it had been like cut. And so they thought I don't know, I didn't see it. They just said it was like the skin was like ripped off of it. The dog was fine. It was just its skin was like ripped.
Yeah.
So I mean, it has to be some type of animal, because like I don't think a person would do that.
Yeah.
But
Something definitely try to get a hold of it. That's for sure. Okay. Do you guys have anything else you'd like to share? Any more experiences? Anything else that's happened?
I don't have anything, but I can give the phone back to our mom and you can talk to her.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it, and it was a pleasure speaking to you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello.
Hey, Lisa.
Hey.
Yeah,
So I'm sorry we don't have anything better for you, but I just thought, since you do, investigate this stuff all the time, and, you're out in the woods, because we watch your program on YouTube, that you just might be interested to know that, someone has had an experience in Iron County here,
Yeah, and I appreciate it. It's a common thing to get reports where people see something and it's really quick, but
it was so quick.
I've heard the same sounds as well, and I try to tell people, but they just roll their eyes, and you can't get people to go out there. So I was really happy to hear.
I have tried to get every one of my family, somebody, to go out in the woods with me at night, in Mark Twain National Forest. So let's just go out and just go out in the woods at night for a while and just walk around and just see what we can see or hear, or, probably nothing, but you never know. These big chickens, they won't go out at night.
Yeah.
I can't get any of them to go out at night in the woods.
Well, when they start howling again and yelling, I'd like to come out there and maybe hang an audio recorder on my way down to one of my research areas and possibly pick it back up, and maybe we can capture something.
Yeah, if we start hearing it again, once, when it warms up, and because usually when it's warm, we're outside fishing or sitting on the deck or whatever, and we're directly across from this mountain. I mean, we're just can see this mountain, from our deck. If they start, making these noises and stuff, I'll send you a message and let you know.
Yeah, that'd be excellent. I've been trying to capture some audio in my research areas, but I think I caught the tail end of it, and I just got a little bit of it, and when I tried going down again, there wasn't much going on, so it's been tough.
Yeah, I don't know. It would be very difficult because, these things clearly don't stay in one spot all the time. They clearly move around. So
yeah,
would be almost impossible to,
I hear them
predict where it's going to be and when.
Right. Yeah. I hear them right when it gets dark, maybe sometimes around 11, and then like around 2. But
I've seen that you've been on the Black River some, and we made a joke here. Oh, maybe it was last summer we made a joke, because we go down there and go swimming all the time around Cay Bridge at Annapolis. And we walked down the river a good ways, and at the edge of the woods, there was some big rocks, stones, kind of all stacked up like in a pyramid shape. And we joked and said, look, Bigfoot must have come through here, stacked up them rocks, just as a joke. But
yeah,
I completely believe in it. People make fun of me, but I don't care. I believe in Bigfoot. I believe that there's Sasquatch out there. What exactly they are, I'm not sure,
Yeah, that's fair enough.
What do you think they are? Are they, is it a gorilla type
Well,
A type of a gorilla?
I used to think that, maybe it was some type of unknown primate or
Mm-hmm.
hominid. And
Mm-hmm.
then, kind of switched to like a tribe of people. But now with all the UFO stuff that's coming out, I don't know. I'm always changing my perspective
Yeah.
on what it is.
Well, there's too many people, I think, too many people has seen and heard stuff, you know, for it not to be real. There's something out there.
Oh yeah, yeah, for
And
sure.
bears don't act that way. Bears, yeah, they stand up on their hind legs, but they don't walk very far on their hind legs, and they definitely don't make these kinds of noises. So, all the people that say, "Oh, it's just a bear," well, they don't have any idea what they're talking about.
Yeah, yeah, I know. I've seen them before, so they're definitely out there. And the area you guys are talking about, there's been a lot of reports in the past, and yeah, like I told you guys, I go down there to research, so I believe it.
Hmm. Well, all right. I appreciate you calling. I'm sorry we don't have anything better, but I just thought it might be, interesting to hear that another person has had a experience.
Yeah, and I appreciate you and your daughter sharing that information with me. And like I said, if you guys experience anything, contact me and let me know.
I sure will. If it starts up again, I will definitely let you know.
All right. Well, I
All right.
appreciate
Well,
it.
thank you.
Yep.
All right.
Mhm.
Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. Thank you so much to the both of you for sharing your encounters with me. And it really meant a lot just because I passed that area going to one of my research areas. And I always wonder when I'm passing by, I bet there's Sasquatch in that area just because of how many state parks there are and just public land in general. There's a lot of scenic view areas, rivers, and just forested highways. So I know that they're in there, and I was really glad to hear someone speak up about the area because the place that I go to that's nearby, we've been hearing a lot of the same sounds. And when Lisa contacted me, I knew right away that she wasn't making it up, and it was a serious report because it goes along with the research. And yeah, these things are out there, guys. So give her a big thanks and her daughter for sharing their encounters, and it really means a lot. All right, let's move on to this next report. This is by Jason, and he knows what he saw. He really wanted to share his encounter, and I'm pretty sure he got a good look at it. It was just hard to hear him with the audio that I got, and that's why I put these videos all together, because I just wasn't able to get the best audio feed, and it was really hard to make a full episode out of it. So together, we created an awesome episode. All right, let's get into it, guys. All right, Jason, welcome to Sasquatch Theory. How are you doing today?
Pretty good.
Good. Jason, if you would, tell me a little bit about yourself and your Sasquatch or cryptid encounter from the very beginning, please.
My name's Jason Hubbard, and I've had an encounter, an ice sighting. Well, we decided to go on a road trip, just out of the sky. We just went. Decided we was going to go to Colorado, but it started snowing, so we said we'll head south. So we ended up going towards Tennessee, and we went down through the Great Lakes, land in between the lakes. We stayed down there for a night and a day. And on the way back, we just watching the road. It's raining. It's around 10:30ish. I'm watching the road for animals, deer, elk, because that's a lot of that buffalo. I didn't want to hit none of them. But come around the corner, and next thing I know, I see this figure, probably about 100 yards in front of me. It catches my eye. It's not a tree, but it looks kind of like an evergreen tree. It's like a whooping willow tree. The hair on it looked like it just crawled out of the water hole. Of course, it was raining and looked a little muddy, but it was white. I seen from the top of his head, both shoulders, and somewhere in between his back. And other than that, guardrail and grass and hill. So the height is unestimated at this point. I grabbed the whole steering wheel. I said, told my wife, I was like, honey, you ain't gonna believe it. She's like, what? She's about to fall asleep. It's like, I just seen him. He's like, are you kidding me? I'm like, I'm dead serious. You think I lied about that? No. I know what I saw, just as anybody else would. And that's everything else after that was pretty much straight on and get home and not stop. Even though I wanted to, I couldn't. Something just kept pushing me away. And that's it.
Okay. So, what county were you in when you encountered this creature?
I'm not for sure the county, but it's like right next to Purdue or Paha, Kentucky, on Highway 24.
Okay. And you mentioned it was by LBL area. Is that correct?
Yes, it was. It pretty much right on the outskirts of it.
Okay. So, when you encountered this creature, can you kind of guide me through what was going on? What were you doing and kind of what was going on in your mind before the encounter?
I wasn't expecting to see one, but I've always believed and keeping an open mind. Keep an open mind, you'll see a whole lot more. And it's proven fact that time again, I believe. And yes, I think it has put a small indentation on some things in life. Since then,
So, you said the creature was all white?
uh, yes, it was a white.
Okay. And did it have real long hair or was it relatively shorter?
Being wet, it made it look like it may have been long, and it could have been long. It looked like a cousin it crawled up out of a hole, the water hole. You know,
Yeah.
that's the best I could describe it.
Okay. So it didn't look friendly. It kind of it looked territorial, would you say?
It was just standing there like it was hunting,
Okay.
but I didn't get to see his face. I just got the back view, and I even got home and I drew that on picture that night.
Okay. And would you say it was an adult or a smaller one? Pretty big.
And it's a medium to maybe adult.
Okay.
I mean, I didn't get out yet and go look. I'm wanting to, just that way I can know I'm 6'1". So if I know if I go over there and stand, and top of my head ain't there at the guardrail, 10 foot plus possibility.
Yeah. And what month and time of day was this? Do you remember?
That was just after Thanksgiving, so November,
Okay.
into November.
Was it in the morning or evening time?
Evening, about 10, anywhere from 9 to 10:30 ish.
Okay. And have you ever encountered anything like that in the area again?
I haven't been that way yet, but I'm hoping to go and see what else there is.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Okay. Have you ever had any UFO or paranormal encounters take place in your life?
Yes, I have.
Okay. If you would, you don't have to go deep into it, but if you
Right.
would kind of just describe what happened and if you think it's related to your encounter in any way, shape, or form.
Me and guys standing there at Smithville at the end of the dock, and we happen to see this. Looks like a star, but this thing goes like a zigzag, like a lightning bolt, kind of. Just a light up in the sky, and me and Dad looked up at the same time, and I think we know what that was, son. And I was like, "Yep." And that's I've had so much things happen to me. It's odd, but it's all making sense now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So you have a history of strange happenings.
Oh yeah, most of them are here in Missouri that I could pinpoint almost.
Okay. Have you ever had anything happen in your house, in your bedroom? Any strange entities, anything like that?
Yeah, I have.
Okay. Do you want to talk about it, or do you just want to confirm that you have?
I just confirmed I have.
Okay. Yeah, that's good enough for me, and that gives me a better idea of, what's going on with people, whether it's just a regular Bigfoot encounter or if there's more
Right,
to it.
right. I've also had encounters in Oklahoma as well when I was 11.
What kind of encounter? Bigfoot or paranormal?
I, I think it was Bigfoot because the way it ran through there, me and my buddy went across frogging. There's, I don't even remember what day or what year it was, part of the year, but it's summer. We're out frogging and we got 22. We're shooting. We shot like 3 rounds, and the next thing we know, we hear this, whatever it was, let out a grunt and go towards away from us to brush. And we went on the other side to see if we see any tracks. We didn't see no tracks because it was all rock. And we decided to get the heck out of there because we know what was around there.
Yeah. Yeah, that is terrifying. Were you hunting when this happened?
We were frogging.
Okay, frogging. Do you
Yeah.
think the creature was targeting the frogs or aquatic life as well?
No, I think he's just sitting there watching.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. They are curious beings or creatures. Do you feel like they're dangerous in any way, shape, or form?
If they need to be, possibility. Territorial. Yeah.
Yeah. And when you listened to the LBL story, did you think that was dogmen or Bigfoot?
I'd have to hear that how myself in person to actually tell you if it was or wasn't. Either one.
Yeah. Well, the
Uh,
interview I
I've
listened to,
had
I wasn't sure. I heard there's different versions of it, so I was just trying to
right.
figure out which one's the correct one. But all right, Jason, I think that pretty well covered your encounter, and it was a brief one, but I think it was important enough to log. So I appreciate you getting in contact with me and sharing all that.
Not a problem, and I've been seeing tree breaks, tree structures, but they're old ones. But I still think they've been through here in this area.
Yeah, they're definitely around. You'll have to let me know if you find anything else.
Right on. I will do.
Okay. Well, I appreciate you taking the time to talk to me on a Sunday. And like I said, if you come across anything, feel free to contact me again.
You bet. Not a problem.
All right. You take care and you have a good one.
You too.
Bye.
Later.
All right, guys, that's all the encounters I have for today. I will be hunting for more Sasquatch encounters, so if you have a nice sighting encounter with a cryptid creature, please contact me and I would love to hear your story. You can email me at sasquatchtheory@outlook.com. Let me know who you are and a brief description of your encounter. If you are unable to call, feel free to write up your story and send it to my email. If you guys enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification so you won't miss out on any of my future videos. And of course, if you've been mysteriously unsubscribed from the channel, be sure to check and resubscribe. Thank you everyone, and be safe. Until the next one.